Okay. Welcome to the Reality Check with Charles Butler. We are blazing out here. It's about that time. It's Monday. We're back in the saddle. What can I say? We are doing what we need to do. We got out of YouTube hell. I think I'm going to go back though to for you guys out there. I need to figure out how I get you over on Zoom, because that's where I'm going to be broadcasting on Zoom so that I can bring in my guests and they can join me here. Like I'm on Zoom right now. In fact, doggone it, I should be able to get Larry in here or Michael Letts. We'll bring him up. We're going to talk about the we're going to talk about the what do you call it? Come on, the Biden administration and the lies that they're telling. I mean, Joe Biden came on a few minutes ago, and the guy just sat there and just lied about Trump, and he gets away with this. You know, the media doesn't call him on. He doesn't take questions, and they go, "Well, I mean, after all, it's Joe Biden." Oh my God, what has Joe Biden been revered? What is there to revere about this guy? Nothing. For me to answer your question, absolutely nothing to revere about this man. He's despicable and he's a disgrace. And his son needs to be in jail. And maybe his brother too. But we know they're above the law. So that's not going to happen. You know, like Hillary Clinton. Hillary Clinton needs to be in jail. Sorry. Okay, so what we got here is I'm going to bring Michael on. And we're going to chat a little bit. So let's do that. Let's see here. Mike. We're going to talk about Biden, what he's doing, what he's not doing. But he is lying to the American people, and that really bothers me. And especially when all you could hear when Trump was president was that Trump was lying. Trump is lying. Trump's telling a lie. The president's lying. That's all you could hear, time and time and time again. The president's lying. And that's not true. He wasn't lying. He wasn't lying at all. Look, we're going to have Michael come on here shortly. Hey, Mike, are you out there? Hello? Let's see here. Let me bring him in. Let me bring him in. Hold on, Mike. I'm gonna bring you in. Hold on. Gotta bring you into the studio. Yeah. Yeah, I got you. Hold on. I'm gonna bring you into the studio. Let's see here. Okay. I gotta switch it out, but we'll switch it out here. Get Mike in, bring him in. It's always something, man. This system. I have everything set up and ready to go. And then and then this pops up. Here we go. Rodeo. Pairing. We're good. Yeah, we're good. So look, the Supreme Court's taking on a lot of cases. The Bucks won last night, so you know I was happy about that. The Bucks won, dude. Bucks won, and Tom Brady set the passing record. They kind of let that pass, you know, like oh. But Tom is the all-time leader in passing. Jeez, and here he is, 40-something years old, and the guy's still going strong. That's what I love about the guy. He's 40-something years old, still going strong, and people just love him. They love Tom Brady, man. I know I do. You know, he's a Michigan man too. How could I not? So we're going to talk a little bit about the Supreme Court, how the Supreme Court is taking on these large cases, and I do mean some serious cases, abortion, as well as other cases, gun rights cases. You know, Clarence Thomas called out the Supreme Court and said, you can't keep ducking these gun cases. Can't keep doing it. Because, you know, I guess Chief Justice Roberts is more interested in his dinners than he is, you know, doing these cases. So we'll see. We'll see. Hey, but look, we're going to take a little break here shortly, and you know, pay a couple of bills, get busy. It's always great to be back in the saddle. I tell you, miss you guys when I'm way over the weekend. Yeah, I do. Let's see here. So we're gonna kind of do a CV commercial. Take a little break. We'll be right back, and we'll have with us Michael Letts. So stay tuned. Hey, Mike, it's Butler. Good, man. Finally made the breakthrough. Yeah. No, it's good. Okay. So, look, we're coming. It's going well. So let's come back. We got. So, hey, Mike. Okay, we're back and want to bring Mr. Michael. What the heck is going on here? Yeah. See here, I'm cutting this off. There we go. Now that's better. Okay. Hey, so Mike, Joe Biden. We were going to talk about his. I just heard him on TV lying to the American people, lying about President Trump, lying about President Trump's budget and how it took us into debt. I mean, what is wrong with this guy? Does he think that American people are stupid or what? Okay, hold on. Let me hang up and I'll call you right back. Okay. Maybe this is better. You guys are here to hit a call. Okay, Mike, how's this? Is this better? Mike, I can. Is this better? Okay, good, because that is very annoying. I've been on the other end of that. And you okay. Okay, so what I'm doing, you won't hear it now. You don't you don't hear it now. Yeah, good, good. Okay, so um, where are we? Man, this guy, he just comes to the American people and he lies without remorse, without shame, without regret. He just lies. He says, well, you know, Donald Trump put us more in debt than I'll ever put us in debt. It's not true. It's not true that 3.5 trillion dollar debt bill that these guys are trying to pass, along with all uh, the socialist requirements in it, are very scary. should be very scary for the American people, to the American people. But Nancy Pelosi will never do that. And McCarthy is too big a sissy to do it. So where does that leave us? Yeah, but that's easier said than done. What's that? Yeah, but you can't get people interested. That's the whole thing. You can't get people interested in what's going on. Yeah, yeah. So, when we talk about these things, the reality is, folks just say, "Hey, sorry, I'm more concerned about going to see my grandchildren than I am making sure they have a future. I want to play with my grandchildren rather than go to confront my congressman and my senator and make sure that there's a future for my grandchildren instead of them growing up under communism and socialism. I want to be my grandchildren and my children's friend. See, we got away from parents being parents, and you have these people uh, who really believe that they should be their children's friends. Yeah, but you can't have people just awakening and telling them, being told what to do. That has to come from within. That's why we're in the situation we're in, I do believe. So how does this, Mike? Mike just dropped, but I was going to just ask Mike, how does this impact him? How does this impact his business? How does this impact what he's trying to do? Yes. Now, yeah. So how does this impact your business? How does this impact what you're trying to do? Well, they do, unfortunately. So here we are, and tell people about what you're doing with the vest for police. Hmm. 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 Well, yeah, well, remember, I proposed something like that. I call it I call it neighborhood watch with guns for Chicago. And the reason I proposed that, I had the idea, but more importantly, when the riots broke out in South Africa earlier, or last month, when they put Zuma in jail, former President Zuma in jail for whatever malfeasance. Um, the the, um, the people went out and protected their neighborhoods. They didn't sit back and wait on the police. They went out and they protected themselves. They protected their neighborhoods. They protected their property. In Chicago, we still have people being shot, sitting in their homes, minding their own business. That's what happens. So, what are we supposed to do? What are we supposed to say? Are we supposed to be like sheep to slaughter? That's where I kind of segue from Martin Luther King. I don't believe in that slaughter mentality. I don't believe in going to the polls, or going anywhere unarmed and defenseless. And so you look at some of the things that are going on now, um, and you and you when I say some of the things that are going on now, let's look at all the killing that's going on. Police being shot, people being shot. Uh, Policeman committed suicide on I-94 in Chicago, main thoroughfare, right in the middle of the street. Just pulled out his service revolver and blew his head off. I mean, it's bad, okay? And I've had a friend whose husband was he committed suicide. Same deal. And you wonder what makes these guys get to the point where they would commit suicide, when they have so much to live for. So I look at we talk about defunding the police, and those cities that have defunded the police have seen a rise in crime. They've seen a rise in murders. They've seen a rise in rapes, and now we're bringing in the real rapists, the Muslims. Everywhere a huge group of Muslims have been allowed in their countries, the incident of rape and killing of women has gone up. So it's all they have absolutely none. So for Biden or any of these other hacks to bring these Arab men into our country, it's an abomination. They even raped, they had the nerve to rape a servicewoman. They raped her. I mean, how do you think you're gonna get away with it? Because America is soft. And when I say that, let me say this about America being soft on crime. Now, Mike, I don't know. Are you a former law enforcement guy? So when I say this, I hope you understand. Um, I think that we are way too lenient on punishing criminals and crime. Somebody needs to die. There's a young man got out of a car, shot a police officer in the face. Now, think about this. This young man gets out of his car and shoots a police officer in the face. Now, let's reverse that. If the police officer had gotten out of the car with her weapon drawn, she would have had half a chance. But what people would have said, and what I would have said myself, but you have to understand the neighborhoods that you're in. And I would have said, why would a police officer get out of their car and pull a gun on me on a traffic stop? Well, in this particular neighborhood, this police officer should have been out with her weapon drawn because this guy got out of the car and shot her before she even had a chance to, and shot the guy too, the guy who was driving. Amazing. And so it's kind of a double-edged sword. So where do we have to start? I think we have to start here. And that is Black people need to be called out for their criminal behavior. Black men constitute less than 7 to 8% of the US population and commit 52% of recorded homicides. That's recorded homicides, those that we know of and that we know the killer. What about all those killings that we don't know about? And we don't know who killed the people. And there are numerous of them just in Chicago alone. There must be a couple of thousand over the last 10 years. So when you look at these kind of statistics, you have to say something's wrong with violent Black men. What is it? They need to be put down. Don't put them back into the neighborhood. Don't try to rehabilitate them. See, Black people aren't into criminal justice reform. We're not, as a group. Politicians are, but the people aren't. The people are, put them in jail. Don't let them out. I don't care if Miss Johnson's son was turning his life around. If you kill him, then he don't have to worry about it. Yeah, yeah. Milk it. Oh yeah, 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 yeah. Get their friends. Get their friends. What do you call those things? Contracts. Well, it does, and that's Barack Obama and Joe Biden. They're giving their friends contracts. Hey, look, we got to pay a bill or two, and I'm gonna sneak over here and play one of these great commercials, and we'll be right back, Mr. Michaelette. Okay. Okay, I'm here with Mr. Michaelette talking about taking back these communities. We're talking about Joe Biden and his socialist policy. The president was just on television lying, blatantly lying to the American people. And he thinks that we're stupid. He thinks that we're going to sit here and put up with his lies. Those days are over. Yes. Well, you can impeach Trump over a phone call. And that's what these people basically did. They impeached Trump over a phone call. This is not good. It's not good for anyone. And we have to focus on the fact that what Nancy Pelosi did to Donald Trump was an abomination. What the Congress did to the president is an abomination. This man, as Nancy said, he will go down in history for being impeached twice. She doesn't care that it was legitimate or not. And see, and that's the game. That's why I don't like Kevin McCarthy. He's too big of a sissy. He wouldn't have done what Nancy Pelosi did, which was to do it anyway, just so it would be on his record. Now, is this the vindictiveness of a woman? Guys just don't do stuff like this. I mean, what she did in terms of getting this man indicted twice on BS, basically, it'll always go down in history that he's the only president who was indicted twice because of her trifling, feminine angst and hatred. See, you know what? You know something? Let me say this, Mike. White dudes don't get it. White dudes don't get American white dudes. Let me put it that way, because European white dudes are totally different with their women, and their women are different. These women over here are totally out of control because men don't stand up and be men. You know, they want, I have to check with my wife first. The wife comes in and says, hey, I'm going down to Miami with the girls for the weekend. The guy comes in, well, can I go golfing today? I mean, man, I listen to these guys. I listen to these guys, man, and it's embarrassing that they're such wimps. And you know, and it crosses that racial thing, you know, to a point. It's more of a class thing. So it's like if you have an education, you try to live, you know, these guys try to be all understanding and collegial and the woman is, you know, 50-50, whatever. You know, at the end of the day, see, that's why you have to understand there was a direct attempt and has been a direct attack on masculinity in this country. It started in the 60s. It grew in the 70s. It grew, expanded in the 80s. And in the 90s, it was in full bloom. We'll hire a woman before we hire a man. We have to go out and hire, we have to have so many women on our boards. We have to have so many women as CEO. Why can't a woman be president? Because she's not qualified. We don't have a Golda Meir. We don't have a Maggie Thatcher. We don't have a Merkel, Andrea Merkel, as much as I detest her Nazi behind. But we don't have a female or woman politician that has the chutzpah that those women brought to the table. Now, I think Robert Jordan could have been an effective president, but that's one of how many women out here who sat in Congress, right? So when Barbara talks about immigration, she said, hey, the bottom line is when she did the immigration report for Bill Clinton, she said those who should get in are allowed in. Those who have to leave are deported. And those who can stay can stay. She's very clear about, in one sentence, she summed up immigration policy. Joe Biden is destroying this country. All of these foreign people coming into this country are people that Black people have to deal with. Now, when you talk about, and I'm going to be on this because, you know, I got 1 million listeners a week now, and I'm going to be on this hot and heavy about how these foreign people coming here take advantages away from Black Americans before anyone. Now, poor people are poor, and they're going to be poor people in this country. That's who they are. That's what they want to be. Not everybody wants a house in the suburbs and 3.5 children and 2 cars in the garage. Not everybody wants that. They should be able to pursue what they want. But anyway, that's my 2 cents for the day. Not really, but well, exactly. Because see, the consequence for trying to rob me might be deadly. See, so the consequence for robbing one of these liberals, especially in New York, I remember, man, once I went to New York, well, more than once, but I'm in New York, and this is in the 80s, and I'm on business, right? And this guy says to me, somebody comes up to you, it's a white dude, right? He said, we were working together. He said, if somebody comes up to you and they want your wallet, just give it to them. Don't, don't have a hassle. Let's see here. Don't try to resist. Yeah, yeah. And I'm like, dude, I'm from Detroit. I am definitely keeping what I got. I am not giving it to him. Hmm. The same thing. And the question becomes, when do we hold them all accountable? Because, okay, an example in what's that place? Miami Beach, South Beach. Great area, great time, right? It used to be, the kids went down on spring break. They got a little rowdy, but they weren't shooting people and killing people. So these black people started going down there, these black kids for spring break. But who did they attract? They attract the non-students. They attract the thugs. They attract the drug dealers. They attract the gang members. And they discover South Beach. And so they're down in South Beach actually killing people in the daytime, not at night. Broad, a man got shot this weekend protecting his 1 year old. He got shot. That's all I can say. He got shot and killed. Yeah, but you have people who still believe that there are too many guns in the street. I was talking to a very prominent friend of mine who affects public policy quite a bit, or can, and has over the years. And he still believes that there are too many guns in the street and that guns are the problem. I'm going, dude, a gun is an equalizer. I can tell you any number of times where me having a gun stopped me from being killed. Like the time I was in Chicago, on the south side of Chicago, going home from work, and these young boys pulled up to the side of my car, four of them, rolled down their window, gave me gang signs. So you know what I did, Mike? I picked up my Taurus 9 millimeter, my PT 99, and started ejecting shells. Okay. I'm like, oh boy. See, so that's the message that you have to send to these young people, because they think that it is fun to shoot people. I mean, they really think that it's fun to shoot people. But the policy people think differently, man. Well, Mike, one of the things I'm working on. one of the things I'm working on. When we're talking about British tyranny, that's been kind of a lie that's been sold to the American people too. Um, okay, this is the deal. These are the facts. The Brits had fought the 7 year. We call it the 7 Year War. They call it the 7 Year War. We call it the Indian Wars. And so they were in debt. They were heavily in debt because they had brought an army over and and fought on our soil. So that's why they were housing soldiers in citizens' homes. Remember, that's the part of the clause. Yeah, to reduce costs. So so the Brits said, "Hey, we have to tax the Americans to try to get back some of this money because we were protecting them." So they had these taxes. They had a paper tax, a tea tax, a stamp tax. And what we have to remember and understand is that none of these taxes lasted longer than 2 years. None of them, because they were unpopular and they were considered more nuisance taxes than anything else. They were pissing people off. Yeah, yeah. But what really pushed the colonists over the top was the British abolitionists. What's his name? Well, there are a number of them, but right now, and I'm trying to come up with one. Wilberforce. These guys won over the Parliament, and the Parliament decided that they were going to abolish slavery in their British colonies by 1812. Now this is in 1772. Okay. So no, this was like, well, before remember the Independence Declaration of Independence didn't come to 1776. So, yeah, exactly. So they were going to take it away, right? And so okay, all the income, the economic engine of the colonies was crops, cotton, tobacco, sugar, and who they have picking that stuff, who they have producing it, slaves. So if you're going to abolish my economic engine, I can't sit by and let you totally wipe out everything that I have. I mean, yeah. So uh, that I think was the key factor in breaking from the most powerful nation in the world at the time. I think that was the key. So historians, I've debated historians on this, right? Because remember, well, in 1807, both America and Great Britain abolished the slave trade, but it didn't stop. They abolished it, but it didn't stop. We still had slave ships trying to sneak through. And remember, the first squadron we had that was a naval squadron, U.S. Navy squadron, was the African squadron. And it was put in place to stop the slave runners and the Barbary pirates from participating in the slave trade. So when the Marines say from the halls of Montezuma to the shores of Tripoli, the shores of Tripoli was that Barbary trade fighting the slaving ships that were disrupting commerce and trying to bring slaves over. And see, so when you pull all this together, you go, oh, okay. But let the history books tell it. Well, there was representation without taxation without representation. But the facts are, the colonists always had representatives in Parliament. Okay. So I thought that was interesting in and of itself. Yeah. So, and yeah, yeah, it is. But okay, so I could keep going, but I just want you to know this, that Mexico ended slavery in 1828. Britain abolished slavery in 1833 throughout its colonies, the Caribbean, Africa, and Africa really wasn't involved, but South America. They abolished they abolished slavery and paid the slaveholders. So, okay, the plantation owners. So, like, just an aside, when we start talking about history and the effects of history on this country, what do you think the Statue of Liberty represents? Okay. Um, right. It doesn't say anything about the people who are already free here in America, does it? Now let me share with you what the Statue of Liberty was really created for, and why by Labardo, I think it's his name, a Frenchman. He was a French abolitionist, and he wanted to celebrate the abolishing of slavery in America. That's what this statue represents. So if you look at pictures of her, she has chains on her feet that are broken. Uh, there are pictures. There are pictures of the Statue of Liberty in blackface. She was supposed to be black in copper. There are also some of the earlier models. There are also the Americans donated the base, but the French donated the statue, and Eiffel built the statue, the structures for the statue. Okay, but the statue was representing not the welcoming of immigrants, but the freeing of blacks from slavery. And the black press and black people tended to look down upon the Statue of Liberty as a symbol of freedom because they weren't free. In Harlem, in New York, they were pushed into to ghettos. They were denied economic opportunities. When they tried to create their own enclaves of economic centers, they were busted up by the police and set afire. These are things that happened in New York, not Alabama, not Georgia, but New York City. So yeah, so when you look at and if you want to find out or if you want to, just check for your own edification, you go to National Park Service and put in abolition, and they're going to give you the history, the true history of the Statue of History, and not the whitewash version. But that's not in the history books. And I always say, well, why isn't the Tuskegee Airmen in the history books? Why isn't the 24th Regiment infantry in the history books? Yeah, why isn't the Black Panthers who served with General Patton in the history books, and General Patton put at the tip of his attack because of their ferocious fighting spirit? Why aren't they in the history books? Why aren't when you have a picture like Battle of the Bulge, you don't see any black people in it? Black men were the MPs that were directing traffic. Dude, I don't know, because black people are too stupid to even begin to demand that black history be included in the history books. Black history is American history. The two heroes at Bunker Hill was Salem Poor and Peter Salem, two black men. The first man to die in the American Revolution or for the American Revolution is Christmas Addicts. There's a holiday named after him in Boston and in Massachusetts. It used to be a national holiday. It was the first national holiday we had. Well, and you ask why. The reason, it's been devoid. Why has it been devoid? How can you just leave these things out of history like they don't exist? But Michael, this has been for centuries. What I just told you in a few, in 20 minutes, our children have been programmed with, well, we had the American Revolution because of taxation without representation. We fought the Civil War not to end slavery, but to maintain the Union. Well, in order to maintain the Union, you had to end slavery. So Lincoln said at one point, if I could preserve the Union and maintain slavery, I would choose maintaining slavery, but I can't. So so I have to end slavery to maintain the Union and whip your behinds. So It has gone down here, my friend. Well, they're just stupid. I mean, you think today with all of the information that's available, like the stuff I just shared with you, it's not hidden anywhere. It's all out there. You just have to know where to look. But when they're programming people, and like I was programmed, that you were programmed about American, the reason I know so much about history and how to do research is because I had a professor named Sidney Fine at University of Michigan, and Sidney Fine pushed me to look outside of the box. He pushed me to look for the truth. No, it doesn't. Hey, my friend, tell people how we can help you to accomplish this the great job that you're doing providing police officers with real life vests. Well, see, I can tell you really know weapons because you said clean and oil your weapons. I I clean and oil my weapon whether I use it or not, you know? Well, I mean, that's that military training, man. When we get through firing, what do? You break it, break it down, strip it, you know, clean it, and put it back together. That's it. Uh, well, what tickled me is that I go to the shooting range and you see these guys, and they hadn't cleaned the weapons since they had it, and they put like 1,000 rounds through it, right? Exactly. Well, that's what happens to the gangbangers. They get in these fights and the gun jams because they haven't cleaned it. Don't clean your weapon, or just yeah. Like I said, they run into the right people. But so this shooting where this citizen shot these two people. Where was this? Because I haven't read about it. I think they appreciate it. Hmm. Well, yeah, and what got me, and this is a story that was really suppressed, is that uh, these black people came to the aid of an officer who was in distress. He was overpowered by a criminal, and as quick as it hit the news, they took it off. As, as quick as it hit the news, because at the end of the day, we respect our police officers. We want to help our police officers, and I'm going to use this show as a platform to make that happen again. She is. Yes, sir. But I tell you one thing, I can't get in my old uniform right now. Okay, Mike. Hey, Mike, thanks a lot, man. Appreciate you. Okay. You too. God bless you. God bless America, my friend. Bye bye. Oh man, that's too much. That's too funny. Hey, look, I'm gonna take a quick trip down uh, the memory lane here and play a little commercial. Pay a couple of bills. That's what we do here at the Reality Check. Should come through. Oh. Okay, we're back, and I was just looking at Jen Psaki on TV lying, and I do mean telling some serious fibs. Okay, now this is Joe Biden. You see, he takes the podium today, and we know he's lying. Okay, he comes up and says, "Good morning." First words out of his mouth, lie, liar, liar, pants on fire, is what I want to say. The guy is a constant liar. I'm looking at what am I looking at here? That's Zoom, but I want to check this out. Okay, here we go. So what I'm going to do is step over here and look at. Okay, got it. Here is the president. Hope you could hear him tell these lies. Here we go. Wow, he's right. But it's always been a bipartisan effort. See, what Joe Biden doesn't get is uh, their representatives. See, one of the things that happened out here and that people talk about is what is it? The that America is a democracy. The United States of America is a democracy. No, the United States is a republic. We elect people to represent our interests. We don't elect people who represent their own interests and vote how they want to vote in the majority. True. So, given that, you have folks who, in the last what 3 or 4 years under Obama and under Biden, these folks have chosen to try to run roughshod over the rest of the country, try to fundamentally change this country into a socialist country. Well, people steal because they're poor. That's bullshit. It used to be the old adage was people robbed and killed because they were poor. So the question became, under the Trump administration, now that everybody has a job and people are moving out of poverty and into the middle class, why are they still killing and stealing? And because they're criminals. That's why. Oh man, this is too much. Hey, look, I had some technical issues to work out with the show. We're going to work on those when we get off the air. But right now, I want to thank you guys for tuning in. I'm out of here and be back tomorrow. Frank Venucio, take care.